And measuring happiness is no easy task. For more perspective on money and happiness, Dr. Chen joins us now via Skype. He's Associate Professor of Health Policy and Economics at the Yale School of Public Health. Thanks, sir, so much for joining us. So this 10th annual World Happiness Ranking report came out to coincide with the International Day of Happiness. For the 6th straight year, Finland ranked happiest country on earth. The U.S. is 15th. Afghanistan was dead last. Obviously, a lot of factors go into being happy. How do you define happiness, sir?
Thank you for having me. And so happiness is quite much have relevance to well-being in general, not only measured by the money metric. We all know the GDP, the gross domestic product, usually is money metrics measuring each country's growth. But this is far from enough. We have to include the more general well-being measure. So happiness may have different meaning for each individual, but if we aggregate the measures at the country level, is very often a very good measure about where the country stands. For example, there's a large evidence show that across countries, countries with higher income can have generally enjoy more happiness. But there's also a puzzle. With country growing, the high growth may not translate to more happiness. This is exactly what happened in many developed countries, like was mentioned in, for example, United States. So to have more happiness, not only the level of income matters, but also how the income is and wealth is distributed really matters. As we see in many countries in the last few decades, the income inequality and the wealth inequality is getting worsened. So people may have more income, but when they compare with friends who are around them, they think they are relatively deprived, which bring down the happiness.
And that leads me right into this next question, which is one recent study blew out the notion that happiness stagnates after you reach a certain income level. That number was 75,000. Instead, showing happiness continues to rise as incomes rise. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I think it's very context specific because with more income, many other things happen. For example, as I was mentioning, if the income is not well distributed, that may offset some of the income effect. And also when income rise, which may increase the economic activity, which may bring more air pollution. As suggested by our own economic study, we show that 1/4 of rising income could be offset by increasing air pollution, because think about when you wake up every day, you see less visible air, so which make people more depressed, so which may offset some of the effect. There are many other things could be tied to income. For example, social and economic and health infrastructure. So for a country with a richer society, and they may invest in more education and health sector, which may bring more health equity and education equity, which may, the better education, more equitable education may further reduce income inequality for the next generation, which may bring more happiness. So many things may tied to the rising income.
You know, my dad is 97 and he always says happiness equals health and wealth. So it's not just one, you need to have both. But what does happiness actually buy? Are you happy with a tangible asset you acquire, let's say acquire like a car or a bag, a house, or does the happiness actually stem from the freedom that money affords you to help yourself or other people?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. So I think we really need to know how we measure happiness. There's no consensus about that. As economists, we usually measure in two ways. One is more day-to-day happiness, which may vary quite a lot from the morning to the evening. But there's another way called the evaluative measure, so which measures overall throughout your life how happy you are. And people have a really amazing adaptation to something bad happen in the life course. So people may feel unhappy on a certain day, but overall they can be happier because of the adaptation. And also it really depends on what people gain from, for example, income increase. For example, a lot of evidence showing that if you win a lottery, although it can be a very large lump sum payment to you, but this is only one shot. And it's a windfall, so which may not bring expectation that you will have more income in the future. So the happiness could increase dramatically in a moment, but will eventually reduce. So some social programs will really bring more happiness because it brings annuity like a pension program. One example is in China. Before 2009, there was no social pension for farmers in China. But after 2009, China built the national program. Although at the beginning, the money sent to the farmers in China was not a big lump sum payment, but it's an annuity. The farmers really believe that the government is caring of them, and they build more expectation about a better life in the future, which may bring more happiness. So our economic evaluation shows the causal effect of the pension money, although it's modest, but can still bring more happiness to the farmers in China. That's just one example.
Dr. Chen, it is a fascinating subject. We have to end it there, but thank you so much. We're so happy that you joined us today. Thank you for your time.